Alabama's got a really good football team and a really good staff, and they were able to start to slowly but surely creep back into the game. And then we had a couple of really ill-timed mistakes that they capitalized on with the pick six there, and going in at 17-all in the half. But came out, got a 3-and-out on defense. Offense goes 3-and-out, and then we had not a great punt, and then we get a penalty, a personal foul, and that just give them a short field, and they convert, they score out of that, and we just couldn't dig ourselves out. We end up scoring a touchdown there later in the quarter, but we couldn't complement each other when we needed to the most and make the plays that we needed to, and we have made again all season. Kicking game. There were some times it was really good tonight. Some other times, man, we didn't have what we've had all year long. So it doesn't take away from the kind of season that we had. And again, it's really in many ways it's pretty ironic how the storyline we just changed the helmet. From I thought our offense was in great command. Defense, man, we got things really rolling early. And we actually were dominating, a part of the game. So some ways the same, some ways not. And then the turnovers, the penalties, the missed opportunities, the drop punt, poor punt, the missed field goals, the real poor penalties that we had, and then they couldn't get the stops when we needed to. So, but it doesn't take away from again the pride I have for the group of seniors, guys that won't be here in the future. Man, they couldn't be more proud of them, the deposit that they chose to make, in an environment, in a world where everybody's trying to get theirs. This is a group of guys that chose to not take a withdrawal, but leave a deposit and leave their mark, do the things that we need them to do to help elevate this program moving forward, just by putting their head down and loving each other, loving the opportunity, loving the brotherhood, and loving the opportunity to fight, for the Sooners. And couldn't, again, be more thankful and proud for that group of guys and the group of guys that, are returning as well. Again, easily one of the funnest teams I've been around. The spirit of this team, their love to compete, their love for their brothers, their willingness to allow us to coach them day in and day out. What a joy that they've been. And incredibly disappointed for our fans. Man, it was an amazing season by them, our students, our band. Just fantastic. The passion, the energy, the support, second to none. And just thank them for, again, showing out like they have all year. And but our best days are sitting in front of us. I really believe that. We've got a great foundation coming back. And again, I think a vision for, what it needs to look like, moving forward. So, with that, I'll open it up.
Start on the left side, George. George Stoya, Sooner Scoop. Brent, Tate and Grayson were so good for you all year. Were you surprised at all by just kind of how poor the special teams unit as a whole was tonight?
Again, nothing surprises me. It's football. And there was a heck of a lot more that was amazing, than poor. So I put it all in perspective. I know, what it takes, the strength of this football team, and, those things, couldn't afford to play poorly against a good team at times. And at times we were solid, and at times we weren't what we needed to be. But again, you look at the body of work, and again, the scoreboard's all that matters. I know what we preached last time when we played them, and but you go down and you look, and you would have, without seeing some of the penalties and some of the special teams plays, you look at the statistics, and you would have thought that we had our opportunities all the way to the end, despite some of those issues, and that just shows you that, the type of team that we had, and we had the ability and the opportunities to overcome that even in just the last, several minutes of the game, despite some just incredibly critical mistakes. And but it just wasn't in the cards for us tonight. But that group of guys, we wouldn't be in the position we were tonight had it not been for the consistency and how special they have been all year long.
Barry Trammell, Tulsa World. Mistakes killed you, of course, Brent, you've well documented. But just in terms of line of scrimmage and making plays, and your offense was great early, your defense was great early. That flipped about, almost late in the second quarter. What happened on just with the offense and the defense to where Alabama got the upper hand and never really let it go?
Yeah, they had the I guess it was maybe a 75-yard drive there. Again, they converted. Again, they got them to 3rd and 6, backed up, and they throw a corner route. We lost leverage on it. We had our opportunities, got them to 4th and 2 inside the 10, and they catch it underneath. They threw it quick. They just a little window, and then they scored a touchdown there, and then we come back and we go again when we weren't in rhythm. It couldn't have come at a worse time, and so then we go 3 and out, and then we send the punt team out. Then we have a delay. We've got to have better awareness there. Get the delay. Then we drop the punt and give them a short field. We go 3 and out. They kick a field goal, and then we punt, and they get the ball, and we have a personal foul. Then I think we pick 6. We pick 6 after that, and threw a pick 6. So next thing you know, it's 17-17 going into half. But again, as we showed, we pulled it within 3 in the fourth quarter there. Came out the first drive, the second half defensively, and really got after them. And then we went 3 and out, and then that was where we punt, and then a poor punt, not a good punt, and then we have the penalty after that. Now they got a 30-yard. They get maybe a 30-yard touchdown drive or a field goal drive, but either way, they end up getting up by 10. We pull it back and get it to 3. And again, when we needed to, we couldn't, pull one out like we have, several other games this year.
Yeah, Colton Sully, the Oklahoman. Yeah, Brent, it seemed like from afar, at least, John improved a lot health-wise in this game, felt more comfortable. I was just curious how you thought he played tonight, but also reflecting on his season and everything he fought through the season. Just what do you think of him?
I couldn't. He's a warrior, man. He's got everything that you want in a competitor and a leader, in a quarterback. He's got great talent. He fought through. He'll be his testimony, but he was determined. Just even the game after he hurts it. Where a lot of guys want to cool and be on the sideline, put their hats on, their shades on, wear their jewelry and stuff like that. He's like, I want to suit up. I want to be with my guys. I want to go through warm-ups, and that's just the kind of human being he is, the type of leader he is. He leads from the front in everything that he does. He takes way more responsibility when he shouldn't, when things aren't going well. And that's why he's going to be a great player and play this game a long time. But I think you saw, glimpses of how special he can be all season long, just despite some of the injuries and things of that nature that he fought through. And I think you saw tonight, if we could have been a little better on defense, when we needed to, a little better on the special teams, I really believe that we'd still be playing. And we'd be talking about we won the game because of how well, John played at the right times.
Jenny Carlson with the Oklahoman. Brent, you mentioned this a couple times in your opening statement, just that this doesn't take away from the big picture of the season. Obviously, double-digit wins, making the playoff. The tangible results that you got are evidence of that. But I'm wondering, from your perspective, what else about this season stands out for you that makes it successful in your eyes?
Yeah, like I said, just the selflessness of the football team, the leadership of really the whole locker room, but led by our seniors, guys that made a decision to leave a deposit, not just take a withdrawal and see how much they could get out of it and make it all about them. They were completely and totally immersed in the moment. In this day and age, when there's a lot of easy things to be distracted by, whether it's NFL opportunities, making your plays and your stats, and looking for a hole in the fence. It's like R. Mason, It could have been so easy for R. Mason to just sit this one out. And he's got a great, great future in the NFL. And he's invested too much. And he fought like hell to, along with our training staff, to get back and be a part of tonight. And we had a lot of great opportunities to go win the game tonight because of him. But that's what I take the most from this group of guys. And I told them, man, they're gonna leave their mark. And again, it's not a badge of honor and those types of things, but this is a group of guys that got us to our 5th playoff, and did, again, in many ways, to many people, the unthinkable. And Bell would, again, be an amazing example for the returning players, what it needs to look like, what the standard of Oklahoma is, what the expectations are here. And then this is how we do it, how you play, how you compete, how you show up every day, the level of consistency, the level of sacrifice and love that you got to have, and made it kind of reestablish the brotherhood as much as anything and how important it is.
Yeah, Brent, John Hoover, Sooners on SI. We saw some new plays today, some new formations, sugar huddle, stuff like that, some different stuff. But what I'm wondering is, as it got tougher and tougher to run the football and there was more and more pressure on John as he was running for his life a little bit, coming into this game, what did you like about the offensive game plan in your conversations with Ben? Things that you guys thought would work and hold up?
Yeah, I mean, I really loved the entire game plan, and I thought there was creativity. I thought a good part of the game, we didn't allow the defense to just sink their teeth in and dig their cleats in the ground. Manipulate, create leverage in the run game, the pass game. Alabama's one of the best defenses in college football, with a group of, personnel that is as good as there is, and incredibly well coached. So, moving the ball, scoring points, creating explosive plays, which we did all of those things, it was going to be incredibly difficult. And again, the timeliness of how we played, you're going to win. You're going to win typically because of how you complement each other. And some of the mistakes that we made in all 3 phases, really stagnated, us as a football team, and, created opportunities for them. Again, but by and large, we're really good in the red zone. Overall, we created several explosive plays, outgained them, in total yards, and third downs, fourth downs, dominated, the totals there. They were 23% conversion rate. We were just under 50%, and thought we were efficient throwing the ball. And again, they're going to stack the box and not let you run it too. But we, both of us ran it for under 2 yards a carry. We got to get better there. That's going to be a tremendous focus for us moving forward. We have to get better at running the football. But incredibly proud. We had 3 freshmen, start all year, and I thought those guys really grew up. But I really liked how I felt like we were more on the attack. And there's plenty of drives that we left a lot to be desired. Okay, there's several drives there when we needed a drive or we needed to move the ball a little bit. That's part of winning too. Just move the ball, get it off the goal line, make a first down or 2, and let's punt and let's get the field position back, in control. And we weren't able to do that when we needed to. And we played a part on defense. The kicking game played a tremendous part. Lack of discipline played a part. And then Alabama has got a good team and a good DNA, and they were able to control that, that part of it, for us.
Josh McDaniel, AU Daily. Brent, obviously not the result you wanted tonight, but still a big shift from last year to even be in this spot. And so what was just the biggest life lesson you've had over the course of this year to get you to this point?
Yeah, don't let anybody on the outside, put limitations on you, what we can and can't become. And it matters about what we believe. It matters, the work that we put into it. And I think, again, the strain, the love, the sacrifice, the work, the talent, I think there's lots of layers to all of it. I think our staff has recruited incredibly well. I think that showed again this season. I thought that was a kind of a foundational piece. I thought we brought in good players through the portal that helped us have the kind of season that we needed. And then I thought culturally speaking, I think I was as pleased with that piece as well. Everything starts with me when it comes to being a tone setter, the things that are important, our standards, the things that we value, the things that we're going to be about, the things that we're willing to tolerate and not tolerate, the type of people that we recruit, and then what we nurture every single day. Because if you're going to do it the right way and for something that, has, lasts longer than, just, this moment, then you have to nurture it every single day. And then, the people make the place at the end of the day. And I think we have incredible people in this building, both players and coaches. And again, I'm just incredibly proud of the group of guys that both are returning and the ones, especially the ones that are exiting. We couldn't have done it if they, didn't stick with it, if they didn't continue to believe when a lot of things were going on around them that easily they could have bowed out. And they chose not to, players and coaches alike. And so it had some stick-to-itness to them. And that's what it takes. You got to have all of those things. And what you do speaks a lot louder than necessarily what you say. And this is a group of guys who are about the doing all year long.
Time for one more. Far right side, second row.
James Halo, Clement City Sports Radio. Brent, it was another pretty good defensive effort today, and you've built this defense all year. Do you feel like it's left you a great foundation that you can move forward with?
Absolutely. Again, most games I've coached in, man, there's like, oh man, you'd like to get this drive back or this call back, and that certainly is the case, tonight. How you could have helped him be more successful, but it's been a dominant group. It's been a group with incredible passion and energy and toughness. Having an edge to them, a belief, never say die mindset, a group that never pointed fingers or blamed. Man, if they did anything, they brought the team closer together. They were a force field, for the football team. They really were, and they elevated everybody around them. And I think people, when they watched them play, man, they made people proud. And if you didn't like the Sooners, you respected the Sooners after watching the Sooners compete. And again, played like it was recess, played with great, again, energy and just the relentless mindset, I think, resonates with everybody. If you love football, you saw that in this group of guys. So, man, the foundation that they left, the legacy that they left, really, really special, and we'll be, so much better because of them and the contributions that they've left behind. All right, appreciate it. Merry Christmas to everybody.
some players over there. We'll also have 3 players at the podium following Coach Arbuckle. We're going to go straight to questions. If you have a question for Ben, raise your hand. Start left side, George.
George Stoya, Sooner Scoop. Ben, can you just talk about John's play tonight? And obviously, it felt like he was really ripping it there for a bit, and then the pick six. What exactly happened on that play?
Yeah, I thought John came out. He came out ready to play, was seeing the field really well, executing at a high level, was leading, was playing pretty fearless. And then, on the interception, there was just, execution error. And corner for Alabama made an awesome play. Kudos to that kid. And was really, big momentum shift there in the game. But kudos to that kid from Alabama for making a great play.
Behind George, we'll go to Brandon.
Brandon Drumo, you insider. Just talk about Jermichael Carter and Deion Burks. They both big nights. Hit or miss a lot of the season, but the last few games they've come up big for you guys.
Yeah, no, they were those two dudes were remarkable tonight, and I think it's just more of a testament to the kids they are and the players that they've been. Because like you said, it's been a little bit up and down for them this year, but never once have they changed who they were. They show up every single day. They go to practice. They attack the preparation, and they went out there and they played really, really well tonight. And so I couldn't be more proud of those two guys in specific. Just stepping up, making big time catches, making big time plays whenever it was needed. So really, really proud of those two.
Josh McDaniel, OU Daily. Ben, first year SEC and then playing the college football playoff tonight, of course. And so just out of all these things, what's the biggest lesson you've learned this year?
It's a great question. I think the biggest lesson that I have learned this year is sit back and appreciate whenever you get to be around unbelievable young men, unbelievable players, and you get to be around a staff that you really love spending time with. Guys who are all really like-minded, guys who believe in Coach Venable's mission, pull the rope in the same direction, and attack every day for those incredible players that we get to coach. And so that's the biggest lesson that I've learned, is just really sit back and enjoy getting to be around such a special group of kids.
First row, Joe Masato.
Joe Masato, the Oklahoman. Ben, you mentioned the communication error on the pick. What was the communication error? How'd that happen?
They were walked up. Whenever a defense does that, there's a few different things that they could do. They could bring blitz zero and bring everybody on the line, so you got to be able to get it out quick. Or they could bail back, and a lot of times whenever teams do that, they bail back into a two shell. And they did it a few times earlier in the game. In fact, I think they had brought 0 6 times in 30 plays, which is way higher than their normal frequency. And, we went to make a check on it. And at the end of the day, we just didn't execute the check that happened. It's nobody's fault but mine. I gotta make sure that everything's a lot more clear and more concise whenever something happens in that moment. It's not John's fault. It's not Keontez's fault. It's nobody's fault but mine. I just got to make sure that I put them in a better position to be successful right there.
Yeah, Barry Trammell, Tulsa World. Ben, the offense really was humming pretty good first quarter and a half. After that, it looked like John had less and less time. Was under the gun. Was anything besides just a lack of time to throw? What else fell off offensively?
There's a few things that you can point at, and really those first two drives of the second half. Some bad eyes on his part. I probably could have done a better job of putting them in a position to keep the defense off balance in some certain things. But, I think there's about 3 plays specifically in those 2 drives right there that we'd either like to have back or we wish we could have executed a little bit better. But that was it. It was execution problems right there. And Alabama did a great job, like you just said, of applying some pressure too. So I can't just say it was us not executing, because they're really well coached. Those kids were playing hard. But we definitely felt like we could have been better in those moments.
Left side, John Hoover.
John Hoover, Sooners on SI. I think third quarter, the drop pass by Xavier, John turns around and it gets away from the sack, and he's got 3rd and 3, and he's got 20 yards in front of him. Would you rather see him run that football, or would you rather see him try to create an even bigger play and throw that thing?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not mad with the decision that John made. I guess it's easy to say in hindsight. I wish he would have just ran, but he saw a wide open man downfield and delivered a really good ball. And just one of those things where X has shown up time and time again this season and made big plays. So, I ain't mad at either one of them right there. And in hindsight, yeah, go run, get the first down, but we catch that. Probably score, and who knows how the rest of the game looks. So I'm not going to say either way which way I'd rather him, what decision I'd rather see him make right there.
Right. Real quick, we saw some new wrinkles out of the offense, some sugar huddle and some different plays. What did you like about the game plan going in, and then how did it get hung up when suddenly guys had trouble running the football and there was a lot of pressure on John at the same time?
Yeah, I mean, I love the game plan that we had going in. All of it was really designed just to really keep the defense off balance and never let them feel like they could just get their feet in the ground. And again, answering Barry's question, that's kind of what happened. Those 2 drives right there, Alabama got a little bit momentum, and we didn't execute whenever we needed to. And so that's kind of what happened right there.
Come to the right side. So please limit yourself to one question.
Yeah, Colton Sully, the Oklahoman. Ben, you talked about John's performance tonight, what you liked, what you didn't like, but I was just curious if you, as the season's now over, how you reflect on his season as a whole and everything he had to fight through.
Yeah, I think I've said it a lot about him, but I'm incredibly proud of him. I'm proud of the young man that he is and the leader that he is, the competitor that he is. And I think John, got to learn a lot about himself this year, whether it was facing adversity or battling back from adversity or having humility or, just continuing to find different ways to be a leader. Again, I've said it, I think he's an elite competitor. I think he's an incredible young man, and I couldn't be more proud of him. So.
Ben, Jenny Carlson with the Oklahoman. I know this may be a little unfair because your season just ended, but as you think about sort of where this offense is and you think about next steps, what do you hope for, as you look ahead to improve upon, and just things as you think about the next iteration of this offense here?
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of really good things to reflect on. I think there's going to be a lot of areas that we can develop and continue to get better and keep on pushing towards the standard, which is best right there. And but yeah, no, I think there's going to be a lot of good things to reflect upon and be able to reflect upon the unbelievable kids that we get to work with too, and just keep on finding ways to put them in position to be successful, finding ways to help them along, growing as a young man, but also growing as a player, as a football player. There's a lot of things, and it starts with me too. I gotta, really sit back, dive in, look myself in the mirror, and see exactly where I can help these young men continue to get better.
Left side, second row, Myron.
Myron Patton, OKC Sports Radio. Kind of piggyback on what she said. The running game never really clicked this season, and frankly, there's some big time programs. Alabama's not a great running team. What's the key to getting the running game better for next season that you think you'll have to do?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot that goes into it. Continue developing the guys that you have. You running the ball is a mindset. You have to continue to develop the mindset that you want, that physical, violent, fast attacking mindset. And, it takes time. It doesn't just happen overnight. So we have to continue just pushing towards the standard of what we want the run game to look like. And so, and that starts really, almost immediately. And so then whenever the players get back from break and all of that, we just continue developing that aspect of it. But it's all just a mindset, and you have to attack that mindset every single day.
We got time for two more. Third row, Curtis.
Yeah, Ben, Curtis Fitzpatrick, Sports Animal. What's the next couple of weeks like for you guys addressing what you may lose or want to address in the portal, and do you expect it to be active in the portal for you guys on offense?
I think that's really more of a question for Jim and Coach Venables. But, at the end of the day, we love the players that we have in this building. They're all incredible young men. Is there going to be areas that we look at where maybe we think we need to bring somebody in for whatever reason? Probably, absolutely. But we got to make sure that those kids are the right fit, not just as a player, but that they fit the culture of the young men that sit in this room. Ultimately, that's the biggest thing that matters. And so, that'll probably a lot of conversations will be going on over the next month. But that's about all I got to say on that one.
Ben, Kerry Murdoch, Center Scoop. We've seen Brent's defense get so much better because he's had, if you will, homegrown guys that have developed, that have come out of high school, that learn that system. You're not really working with that advantage right now, just coming in and bringing a lot of transfers. How important is that to start building depth from guys that know your system, as John does, and just having more of those guys in your room?
Yeah, it's huge. The longer you can, especially in today's day and age of college football, the longer that you can be around players and keep them in the same system, be able to develop them into the vision of what you want your offense to look like is the best case scenario. And, the more people we do that, the better depth we're going to have, the better competitive depth we're going to have. Whenever we get to spring ball, it's not going to be a whole lot of teaching anymore. It's going to be a whole lot of, refining, developing, instead of, hey guys, here's the offense. Now let's learn it before we can really start developing. And so that's the thing that I'm probably most excited about, is just to continue to get back to work. Because like I said, we have a bunch of unbelievable young men in that locker room who crave hard work, they crave accountability, and just being able to give them the opportunity to be able to be in the same system for 2 years now. I'm excited to just see the strides that a lot of those players can make.
Thank you, Coach.
Appreciate y'all. Boomer.
We'll have some players momentarily.
George Stoya, Center Scoop, R. Mason. Can you just tell us a little bit about your rehab process, getting back, wanting to play, obviously, in this game? What was the injury? What went into the process of you getting back to play?
Yeah, shout out to trainers, Jonathan Gress, Jeff Lau, Haley, Dylan, Luke. They all helped me getting back, man. Healing right, getting my mind right. Just so I won't play, timid or scared. Not be 65, 70%. Let's just go be 85, 90%. Because nobody's 100% during the season, but let's go be as high as we can be so we can ball out for this playoff game. Shout out to them.
James Hale, Oklahoma City Sports Radio. R. Mason, how did you feel like the defense played tonight? It wasn't, you guys didn't have anything to do with the pick six or anything. So overall, it looked like you guys had a fairly good day. But how did you feel like you guys played today?
Yeah, we played good. It's kind of hard to just say what the defense did. Because as a whole team, we didn't get the job done. But I heard something like 1.4 yards per carry. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter at this point if we don't come out with the W. I think we play overall good. Loud environment, communication, just playing with – I seen we played with aggression, played fast. That's all that really matters. But, yeah, it's kind of hard to say with the defense. as a team, we didn't come out with the victory.
Our Mason, Jenny Carlson with the Oklahoman. Two-part question from me. I'm curious just what you think about the overall success of this season. Do you come to the end of this and feel like you had a successful year? And I also asked Brent sort of a similar question. He said he actually referenced you and the fact that you fought to come back and play when, you know, maybe you wouldn't have had to necessarily. He said that he felt like that was an example of success. Do you feel like, if, you know, I don't know how successful you feel like the season was, but just the mentality maybe that you guys set as a standard here, what do you feel about that as you end this season?
Yeah, I wouldn't have it any other way. Like, if God has a plan and let his will be done however it has to be, but I wouldn't have it any other way with these guys. To come back, play with my guys, that's the whole point of me coming back. I didn't come back to, you know, for no fans. I didn't come back to one more time in the Palace. Like, I wouldn't come back if I didn't love my guys. So, yeah, Coach V's right. Would you call it successful because we didn't have the big diamond on our pinky ring? Yeah, you could say it now, but at the end of the day, to go out with my guys like this, I count it as successful. Yeah.
Left side, John.
John Hoover, Sooners on SI. I'm wondering, R. Mason, what was it like for you to lead this team and lead this defense this year, for you personally, and then to watch them kind of mature and get going in the direction that Brent Venables kind of started 4 years ago?
Yeah, it all starts with Coach V, the ultimate leader. I just piggyback off of him. For our defense to be how it was this year says a lot about our coaching and our leadership. But I'm more the one that says certain things and kind of sit back and watch it happen. I'm not really that big of a talker. Leadership, that's more of Kip, Owen, John. But yeah, I think for them, how they developed me to the leader I am today is crazy. Looking back at freshman year, like it would be insane if y'all would know. Y'all can't. You're not here day to day. But yeah, it all starts with Coach V. Amazing coach, amazing leader. Wouldn't have it any other way.
Fourth row, Willie.
Willie Gillespie, OU Daily. Obviously, you're out for a couple weeks, but to return for this game on this stage and at home in front of the fans and the national audience, again, you're out for a couple weeks, but how did it feel to get back and play?
Oh, I felt amazing. No, I know I said it wasn't really about the fans, but it is nice to be look up at a crowd of Norman Nation, to look up and see that crimson and black. I know we said we want to black out, but it did play a factor. No, I did say we weren't playing for fans, but I can't do Sooner Nation like that. That's bad. But to go and play last time being in Oklahoma, I kind of knew it. Senior night wasn't my last time. I knew we were going to have a playoff game here. That meant a lot. I'm just glad I was able to come back and play with my guys for the last time.
Thank you, R. Mason.
Appreciate you.
Got a question for Owen. Left side, John.
Yeah, Owen, John Hoover, Sooners on SI. I wonder what it was like for you to emerge this year. When you look back, I know tonight's tough to talk about right now, but big picture. You look back at your season and how you emerged, and then maybe the way this team grew into, you had leaders kind of pop up, it seemed, here and there, like yourself, R. Mason. And where does that come from? Is it the coaching staff? Is it Coach Venables and the plan that he established 4 years ago?
That's a good question. Being able to contribute in a meaningful way this year was awesome. It worked out in perfect timing, and I'm super grateful to everybody who's helped me along the way. And as far as leaders go, yeah, I think that was, part of our success this year. A huge part was that we had leaders everywhere. And when somebody wasn't, having the best game, there were other people that would step up and, take that role from them. And so having leaders all across the board is something that's great in games where they're super close and you got to rely on a couple people to come up clutch. And yeah, I think Coach V does a good job of making sure everybody has the chance to be a leader. He doesn't put you down based off age or how much you play. In fact, he expects everybody to, make an attempt at being a leader. And it lets guys that, probably wouldn't be outspoken or super vocal get to be vocal. And I think that you're starting to see that in the culture that's being built here. Yeah, just a testament to this team and all the leaders and all the hard work everyone's put in. Yep.
Brandon Drummo, you insider. I know it just ended and everything's just kind of a whirlwind for you right now. And you answered the big picture, but you have opportunities now, Senior Bowl, all that type of stuff. Congratulations, by the way. Do you have any inkling of what your future may lie ahead for you?
Yeah. Up to this point, I've been super focused on winning this game and giving my all for this team and this season. So to be honest, I hadn't thought a whole bunch about it. As I mentioned a while ago, I'm currently in an appeal with the NCAA for another year, and I'm waiting to hear back on that. I think the probability of that is not high, but I'm hoping that all the, evidence and the fact that I hope the NCAA will see that I'm not just another football player who's wanting a bunch of NIL money. I'm someone who cares about the university and, stuck their time out with the same place and is just starting to kind of reap the rewards and is just wanting another year to go at it. I'm hoping that they'll see my case for that and, not just kind of clump it with everything else. So, once I hear back on that, I'll be able to make some decisions. But until then, it's kind of up in the air.
Right side, Jenny.
Oh, and Jenny Carlson with the Oklahoman. I think people would say a double-digit win season, an appearance in the playoff, pretty successful season. But I'm curious what you think, and if there is a measure of success in your mind for this season, does it go beyond the wins and the playoff appearance?
As far as I'm concerned, this season was a success. It didn't end how we wanted. Obviously, our goal at the beginning of the year is to win a national championship. But I'm super proud of the team, super proud of the fight that we've put up all season. A lot of people expected us to not come out of our season and our schedule the way that we did. But we just fought all year. Our motto was hard to kill. And that the team took that and ran with it and really, really embodied that. So as far as I'm concerned, yeah, the season was a success. Did it end the way we wanted to? No, but you can't discount all the great moments and all the hard work that everybody's put in throughout the year. Proud of everybody, proud of all the leaders, proud of the coaches who just worked so hard to get us to this point. Wish we could have capitalized more tonight. Give credit to Bama; they did a really good job. But yeah, this season was a success for me and the team, and I think everybody that's a part of this program.
Second row, right side, James.
James Hale, OKC Sports Radio. It's so tough to get momentum in this game, and the offense, gave up the pick six and things, and you guys came up with some stops. From a defensive standpoint today, how well did you guys feel like you guys played?
I thought there were a couple plays that we left out there. I think when we watched the film back, there were going to be a couple plays that everybody on the team wishes they had back. A lot of competitive plays that didn't go our way, where we were in a position to make plays. But it's a testament to Alabama, and they've got great players too. They recruited a high level. They've got high-level coaches, and they were able to execute on plays that really mattered. So, as far as the defense is concerned, I think we fought our ass off all night. I'm proud of the way everybody came out. You know, even in the last drive after a missed field goal, we came out and went 3 and out. You know, that's kind of been the mindset of the defense all year. So proud of the way we fought. Unfortunately, a couple plays where we didn't execute properly and it cost us. But, you know, the defense all season has fought super hard, and I think that, you know, tonight was no different. Yep. Thanks, guys. Appreciate y'all.